Okay, good morning. Okay, thank you. So you can hear me properly, okay? Thank you for that. Uh, okay, so I'll start sharing my screen again. No, the recording wasn't there. It wasn't happening. So, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. I'm quickly going to go through a recap of what we've talked already. I'm not going to go through the slides that we did um, in the previous days, but this will hopefully give you a brief overview of what we've done already. So human growth and development was our unit, and we talked about how to develop an understanding of different areas of growth and development and how each development area has an impact on the other. You've also talked about different stages of growth and development that a human being passes through on their journey throughout their lifetime. So this is an assessment to show if you want to pass, merit, or distinction. Please email us when you're submitting your assignment. If you want to achieve this unit, you must produce work that demonstrates your achievement of learning outcomes. So these are the learning outcomes. We'll quickly go through them. And these are the standards that we expect from you. So again, if you're expecting a merit or a distinction somewhere where you want to join, the job expects you to have a distinction, or if you want a further degree, they want to see that. So you can always let us know and we can look into that. So for the first learning outcome, you were asked to know the stages of growth and development throughout the human body, or throughout the human lifespan, sorry. And to have a pass here, you would describe the physical, intellectual, emotional, and social development for each of the life stages of an individual. You would identify key changes from birth to old age affecting health and well-being. And you are to explain the developmental norms and milestones. In order to achieve a merit, you would want to analyze how each development area has an impact on the other. Okay. Your second outcome was, to understand the potential benefits, the potential effects of life factors. So there were different life factors, different life experiences that we had shared, and different events that we had shared that have an impact on growth and development. You are to identify life factors and events which impact growth and development. This is to achieve a pass only. And you are to explain the potential impacts or effects of life factors and events on the growth and development of individuals. In order to gain a distinction, you would want to evaluate how nature and nurture affect or impact an individual's physical, intellectual, emotional, and social development. The third learning outcome is to understand the physical and psychological changes as a result of aging. We've just talked about that last weekend. In order to have a pass only, you would want to explain the physical and psychological changes linked to aging and to explain lifestyle choices associated with aging. For a merit, you would want to discuss the impact or effect that physical changes have that are associated with aging, and what's the impact on self-esteem and self-confidence. In order to gain a distinction, you would want to further on go and evaluate the influence of the lifestyle choices that you have, and what is their impact on your aging. The fourth and the last learning outcome is to understand the impact or the effect of transitions and significant life events. Here, to just have a pass, you would want to identify transitions and significant life events across the life stages, to describe the impact that transitions and significant life events may have on individuals. And also for a pass, you would want to explain the role of health and social care practitioners in supporting individuals during transition and significant life events. In order to have, a distinction, You would want to analyze the impact of person-centered approaches on the support provided by practitioners to individuals experiencing transition and significant life events. Okay, so we have talked all about this, the indicative content, all of this was discussed already. I'm not going to go into details because this is a lot to cover right now. So what I will do is just stop sharing here and start sharing my slides for the presentation. So what you have to do and when do you have to submit that, if that's okay. So this was just to give you a brief recap of what was expected from you for this unit. Okay, so now I want you all to please, if you're doing something, just leave it for some time and just have a look at what we're going to discuss at the moment. Because obviously, once we have this discussion, you will have 2 weeks to submit this. Okay, so you will have recordings of this session, but if in case you need any, you want to ask any questions, you can always email us, but it's always good to join in live sessions as much as you can. So we're discussing this on the 7th. Your due date is on the 21st. So you need to submit this assignment on the 21st of December. Okay. So I hope you can see my screens, everyone. So as I said, this will be, the session is recorded. You'll get the recordings in due time, which is next week. So human growth and development, this assignment discussion session starts. So it is important that the health and social care practitioners, which you're going to be, they develop their knowledge in relation to, in relation to supporting people in every stage of life. Okay. And they need to know how growth and development relate to health and well-being. So the study skills that are used, developed and assessed through this assignment, they will be critical thinking, planning and organizing, and time management. We will assess you for gathering information, note taking and summarizing, analysis or analyzing data. Your written skills will be assessed. Your academic skills, including your references, will be assessed as well. And your application of IT skills. Okay. Any questions, please interrupt. Please let me know. If you need more clarity, I'm going very slow just so that you know what you have to do and you submit it without any problem. So your document structure and your formatting, how does it have to be? It is very important that you put the unit number and the name. Okay. I'll share with you, you know, the unit number and the name of the unit. So your name and your unit will be there. Your own name will also be there. You have a student number that will also be there. What type of, so it's Harvard referencing. Okay. So you need Harvard referencing throughout your document. So you start with a bit of introduction to the unit. What is the unit about, or the module? That's just 30 to 50 words in your introduction. You write about what have you learned in this whole unit. Write down the learning outcome if you are mentioning it. So it's the learning outcome. We've talked about the 4 learning outcomes that we have discussed just now. Otherwise, it's not required. Okay. The font size should be 12 and your line spacing should be 1.5 throughout the document. You need to insert the page number. Ideally, it's done towards the right, down extreme right, at the bottom of the page. But there's no hard and fast rule, but it has to be there. Okay. Table of contents should be there initially. So you start with your unit number and the name of the unit, and then you go for the table of contents. Your conclusion should be about what you've learned in this whole unit, should be around 20 to 30 words. And at the end, you have your references and your bibliography. So references within the document, within the text also, you need your references. Okay. And at the end, you have to have a list of the references, which is known as the bibliography. Now, read the tasks very carefully. Focus on details. Okay, please make sure you know what to do. Okay, if you're struggling anywhere, please do let us know. Okay, we're there to support you. So, look at what command verbs are used. Okay, uh, they're action verbs or command verbs that you can, for which you have to use them for completing your tasks. So if there's a if the task says to explain or to define or to describe, it should be done in around 70 to 100 words. Now that's just just an explanation. That's just a definition. So a definition will be shorter than an explanation or a description. Okay, but it should be within this word limit. Now, to assess, to examine, to clarify, to analyze, if the command verb says this, if the task that you have, it says any of these, it should be done over 100 to 125 words. And if you have more critical analysis, it says compare, contrast, critically evaluate, or critically analyze or evaluate. This should be covered under 150 to 200 words. Okay, that's about the command verbs, sorry. Your references should be Harvard, in which you have author, date, style. For example, when you have in text, so for instance, you've written a paragraph and you want to reference it, you will write it Slack, Johnston, Brandon Jones, comma, date, or the year. You don't put in the date, you put the year at the end. And in the references towards the end, it will be shown as a list. Okay. And your word limit, your recommended word limit is 3,000 words. Okay. So, your evidence to be produced for your assessment. So your evidence, when you have the evidence, you would want, so there are 3 tasks to be completed. You have a presentation, 15 to 17 slides long. You have, you would put speaker notes here. So what are speaker notes? I'll just show you what speaker notes are. So speaker notes come at the end. You can see my slides. Your speaker notes come towards the end here. This is what the speaker notes. So you would want to write your excess work over here. These are known as speaker notes. Task 2 is Word document report, which should be around 1,500 words long. 10% above or below is acceptable. Task 3 is a Word document again. It's a report, 1,500 word count.
Hi, hello. Excuse
Yeah?
me, please. Please, can you come again? That speaker means I don't understand. How do you mean?
I don't know what you just said.
The speaker notes, you mentioned speaker notes, then you were pointing to the slides. Is it that we are going to say something while preparing the slides, or
Oh,
what do
yeah,
you
yeah.
mean?
I'm coming towards the slides. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
coming. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's just an overview of what you have to do. It's a long presentation which I'm going to give you. I'm going to go through every detail. Don't worry. So the first task, so there are 3 tasks basically that you're going to do. Just before I go into details, just give me a minute. I just need to mention your attendance. Just give me a minute for this. Let's just stop sharing this. This is just for record purposes. Yeah, that's done. Yeah. Oh, there's another person again. Whenever I take this, just a minute. Someone is just sorry for this. Yeah. In human and okay. Yeah. So coming towards the presentation. Sharing my slides. I hope you can see my slides again. Yeah. So with the first point on the presentation. Okay, so your task 1. So you're recruited as a new health and social care worker. You have been asked to create a portfolio. So this contains important information on human growth and development across life stages. So for this case, you would want this presentation, what we talked about, okay? 15 to 17 slides. You will present this to your colleague in a staff training session. So it will be a presentation for staff training. So you will produce a presentation that would detail human growth and development across the life stages. Here, you would describe all of this. So you would describe, now remember the word count, okay? For the presentation, it will not be so long because obviously your presentation is limited. If you want to go in excess, you would want to use speaker notes, which I just talked about. Describe physical, intellectual, emotional, social development for each of the life stages of an individual. Your second point is to identify key changes that go on from birth to old age that impact or affect health and well-being. You explain the developmental norms and milestones. Okay? Then you identify life factors and events which impact growth and development. We've talked all about this in the previous sessions. Just go and have a look at the previous recordings and you'll have an idea. Explain the potential effects of life factors and events on the growth and development of individuals. There's a question. Your slide is not changing. Okay, sorry. Thank you. I'll just stop sharing here. And I'll start sharing here. Okay, I hope you can see my slide. So I hope you can see it changing now. Thank you for letting me know. So this is your task 1, for which you have 15 to 17 slides. Okay, and you have speaker notes if you want to go into access. So what do you talk about in your presentation slide? You talk about the 4 stages across the human lifespan. You talk about psychological, social, intellectual, and emotional factors. We've talked about these that impact growth and development. You can use graphs, you can use pictures, but all of these need to be referenced, okay, from where they have been taken. You can talk about a chart that shows infancy to childhood, 0 to 4 years. You can talk about adolescent stage of life, 5 to 12 years, teenage stage of life, 13 to 19 years, and early adulthood, which will be around 20 to 40 years. Okay, so you have, and in that you have middle adulthood, which is 41 to 65 years approximately, and old age, which is 65 years and beyond. Talk about in your presentation about the effects and events which would impact or affect your growth and development of individuals. Okay, discuss it. So we've talked about if you want to gain a merit, you would want to analyze how each development area has an impact on each other. Here you would need to pick up with the 4 stages of growth and development and talk about the developments and impact of the development for the next phase. How are they connected? If you want a distinction, just let us know if you're working towards a distinction in your email. However, you would want to evaluate how nature and nurture affect individuals' physical, intellectual, emotional, and social development. Here you need to talk about all the psychological, social, intellectual, and emotional factors. And in specific, you can discuss Erkson's psychological stages. So this is Erkson's psychological stages. You have it from infancy, you have early childhood, you have preschool, you have school age, adolescent, all of these stages are there. What the basic conflicts are, what the basic problems are in all of these life stages, what are the important events important in those years. Okay, so for infancy, you'll have feeding and comfort as your important events. For school age, you'll have another important event. Key questions that are asked during these stages and what is the outcome. So this is Erkson's psychosocial stages. It's a summary chart. You can use this and if you're working towards a distinction. I hope this presentation is clear. Okay, so this was all about this presentation. Again, it is a staff training session that you are giving. And this is all that you have to do in your presentation. 15 to 17 slides, okay? And remember, at the end of these slides, you need references as well, okay? Because you're taking it from other sources. Task 2 is a Word document, you remember? We had talked about a report. So people worldwide are living longer. Living longer gives us, so what's the question? Is the assignment different from the assessment? No, it's the same. It's the same. So, people worldwide, they're living longer. So the presentation, okay, so I don't know what you mean by that, but the presentation is on a PowerPoint and this will be on a Word document, okay, if that's what you mean. So people worldwide are living longer. Living longer gives us opportunities to pursue new activities. So with further education, you have a further career or you pursue a new sport or a hobby that you love. Older people contribute in many ways to their families and communities. Aging is, of course, accompanied by changes, both physical and psychological. So now, this is a preamble, okay? Just to give you an introduction. You have been employed to work with a team of healthcare managers, and the managers need to know how the service they provide meets the needs of the local community. What you are required to do is that you prepare a training resource on a Word document. You prepare again a training resource for practitioners. In this resource, what do? You explain physical and psychological changes that are linked to aging. We did not talk about aging in the previous presentation assignment. Okay. Here you would talk about aging and how does it impact. So explanation is more in detail. Okay. How does it impact physical and psychological changes? And how do lifestyle choices impact your aging? How are they associated with aging? Okay. So, what do you do further on with it? You need to talk about physiological changes which occur within your organ systems. The cardiac output, for instance, decreases, your heart becomes less functional, your blood pressure increases, arterioles become constricted, arteriosclerosis develops, which are different cardiovascular conditions. The lungs show impaired gas exchange, a decrease in vital capacity, slower expiratory flow rates. You can all have these are just explanations. You can see these in the previous slides that we've shared with you, or you can have a look at the different websites that we've shared with you to access and have a look at them and then reference them. You would explain lifestyle choices that are associated with aging. Here you would need to talk about the notable exogenous factors that impact the degree of aging. You have sun exposure, for instance, that will have a negative impact on aging, and smoking. Other possibly contributory negative factors can be alcohol consumption, you have stress, you have diet, you have exercise, disease, and medication. So you need to explain your lifestyle choices. You can explain good lifestyle choices and bad lifestyle choices. This is up to you. Okay. So in here, in order to gain a merit, you would need to talk about retirement. So you discuss the effect that physical changes associated with aging have on self-esteem and self-confidence. Okay. So in detail, sorry, you talk about retirement, that downgrades your socioeconomic status. This is just an example again. Health challenges that limit our abilities and our freedom. You can talk about relationships of physical appearance and self-esteem that are closely linked together. You can talk about common conditions in older ages, including hearing loss, cataracts, refractive errors, back and neck pain, and osteoarthritis. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease can be discussed here, diabetes, depression, and dementia. So this is to gain a merit. If you want a distinction here, you would have to state that. And you would also want to evaluate the influence that lifestyle choices have on aging. Here you would talk about socioeconomic status, level of education, family, kin, social networks, gender, age, and interpersonal influences, and how they all affect your choice of lifestyle. So this was only talking about what lifestyles you have and what's the impact on self-esteem and confidence as a result of aging. However, here you're talking about how your lifestyle is created because of all of these factors that I've just discussed. Build arguments, discuss arguments where you show that lifestyle choices, all the lifestyle choices that we make, how do they impact our aging? You can use row and can uh, three main factors that they discussed. You can talk about being free of disability or disease, having high cognitive and physical abilities, and interacting with others in meaningful ways. These are statements that you can use and talk about them. Is that clear? So your main task is to uh, prepare a resource. Okay, so it's a training resource that you would produce. Word document. Task 3 would be to so moving between different stages of life, such as school, college, and work. It is especially hard if a person finds change difficult to cope with. So to make transitions easier, it is important to put plans in place and have appropriate support mechanisms that are available. So you are required to identify a person uh, within your experience or from the media, television, or film experiencing transition and change, and you prepare a report based on that person. So, in which you identify transitions and significant life events across life stages. You describe the impact that transitions and significant life events may have on this individual, and you explain the role of health and social care practitioner in supporting the individual during transition and significant life events. Here you can talk about what are life stage transitions. What do they mean? Life stage transitions may include things like moving school. It can be a transition for the children, for you, starting or finishing university or starting a new job, adjusting to chronic illnesses, moving away from friends or family, etc. They have a serious impact on general health and well-being. You describe the impact that transition and significant life events may have on the individual. So what are the significant life events, such as the death of a family member or a loved one, marriage, relationship issues, changes in circumstances, conditions of employment, illnesses, and injuries are examples of major life events. Then you would want to explain the role of health and social care practitioners in supporting the individual through transition and significant life events. So a health and social care practitioner, they're there to develop health support from initial care to rehabilitation. That is what their duty is. Through building a close relationship with medical practitioners, they are able to support patients and their families to ensure their holistic care needs are met. You can give examples of the impact of the life events that seem negative impacts, such as depression, grief, and stress. After suffering from the problem of bereavement, individuals face the changes in their physical body and find the problems in working for long hours. So in order to gain a distinction here, you would want to analyze the impact of person-centered approaches. So we've talked about what person-centered approaches are, and when they're provided by practitioners to individuals who experience transition, how does it impact? So you can talk about this. And this so person-centered care relies on a number of aspects, which include people's values, putting people at the center of care, taking into account people's preferences and chosen needs, ensuring people are physically comfortable and safe. So you need to submit your assignment. So you read the ebooks that are there. That's the last bit that I'm just sharing. It's due after 2 weeks. If you're using slides, then referencing will be as this. And if you're using bibliography, it will be like this. So you'll talk about your learning outcome, which does it support. So just do mention when you're writing about what you're addressing, you need to write your learning outcome. Your submission should be at learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. You need to submit this assignment, submission, and declaration of originality. Just ignore this date, please. So any questions, just let us know. That's the end of the slides. Again, your assignment is due by this 21st of December. Okay, so just make sure if you're struggling or if you have any questions, please let us know at any point, and we're there to support you. Okay, any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, speaker notes. Okay, sorry. Anne. Oh, Anne, was it Anne who was speaking? Yeah?
Yes, it's me.
Yeah.
My question is I asked previously if it's assignment or assessment because it's quite confusing to me. And secondly, does the assignment has different sections in the sense that the presentation slide you talked about, is it different from the word count?
Okay, so for the word count, I'll just share my slides again. Yeah, so for the presentation, it's not words, okay? So you need to have 15 to 17 slides. I hope you can see my screen. Speaker notes, I'm talking about that next. Okay.
I know it's not words, but what I'm saying is it two different assignments in one, like two in one?
Is it
Like
different?
the
Mhm.
presentation slide, it's a different assignment, then the word count is a different assignment. That's
Yes,
what I was
yes,
saying.
yes, 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 yes. Exactly. So the presentation, if you can see my slides, it's all about this training session that you will conduct with the staff. Okay. And this is what you need to do for the presentation. This is not for the Word document. This is not for the other two tasks. So this task number 1, which will comprise of 15 to 17 slides, you'll create a portfolio that will contain information on growth and development across life stages. So you're producing a presentation that would detail human growth and development across life stages. You would include these points in it. Okay, all of these points. However, so this is what you can use for your presentation slides and you can use this also in your presentation slides. For the task 2, you're preparing a training resource for practitioners and it's not related to task 1. This is to explain physical and psychological changes linked to aging and to explain lifestyle choices associated with aging. This is task 2. And task 3 is again preparing a report. This is a separate task again. You identify transition and significant life events across life stages, describe the impact of these transitions on the individual, explain the role of health and social care practitioner in supporting the individual during transition and significant life events. Is that clear? Yeah, so
Yes,
that,
yes, thank
yeah,
you.
no problem. Thank you for asking. Thank you for clarifying it. These are speaker notes. So if you see my annotation, these are, you see my this red light, it's going down. If you click down over here, you will see speaker notes. So I'm writing down here. So if my slide doesn't have enough space, I wouldn't want to fill it up with information. I can use speaker notes instead, which come down over here. So if you want more information, if you want to write more, given more information, you're free to do that within your 15 to 17 slides. Yeah, so just make sure that you remain within the word count. You try and remain within the word count so that it is easy for us to assess you. And again, as I said, these are speaker notes, okay? I'll go back to what I had said already. Focus on the command verbs. Does it say explain, describe, define, 70 to 100 words? Does it say assess, examine, clarify, analyze, 100 to 125 words? Does it say compare, contrast, critically, or evaluate? It is 150 to 200 words. Okay, so the recommended word count is 3,000 words. So this is the combined word count. Okay, so 1,500 word count for the second task and 1,500 word count for the third task. I hope that answers the question. I'm joining the class for the first time. Where do I get the material? So it's on Moodle that you will get. Welcome to the class. It's on Moodle, your Moodle page, that you will get all the assessments, all the tasks that you have to do, all your reading material will be there. And also whatever we've gone through, your recordings, the recordings will all be there. Please use things like whatever references we've shared with you already. What question? So when submitting the assignment, we are to submit the assessment also. Yes. The assignment and the assessment are not different. I'm not sure why you're asking this question, because we are assessing you through this assignment. Okay, so it's an assessment or an assignment is the same thing. But yes, you are submitting all these tasks together. So task number 1, task number 2, and task number 3, 3 of them will be submitted. They should be submitted. You can submit earlier if you want to, but the deadline is the 21st of December, 2024. Again, I'll just go, and this is the last thing that I will share again with you. The document structure and formatting. It's very important. So you need, for your PowerPoint presentation, use MS documents, Microsoft Office documents. If you do not have those, you can use WPS. That is for the PowerPoint as well as for the Word document. Okay, so you can use WPS if you do not have Microsoft Office. So I don't have Microsoft Office, unfortunately. I have to buy it, and I'm not buying it, but I have WPS. So that helps me in carrying out my everyday tasks. So I'm okay with it because it does the task. So yeah, just use that and you're good to go. And just before we end, I just need to take your attendance again, because I think there's someone new who's joined in. So is that clear to everyone? Just go through what bits we've talked about already. If there are any questions, please feel free to email us at learnerwork.ukversity.co.uk. Okay. So if there are any questions, we are happy to take them. Human growth and development. Okay, any questions? Any further questions? If there are no questions, I'm happy to end the presentation here. Feel free to email us. We'll get back to you. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jessie. Good luck and take care. Stay indoors. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.